some practical examples of how these can become real in a big organization, rather than a vanity project, rather than a pet project, rather than something that you're reading about. Well, AI has become a very hyped term, and it refers to the ability of computers to do human-like tasks. But I think it's important to realize that there are a whole suite of techniques that come under the banner of AI, from making predictive models to interpreting images to generating sound to chats. And I think from a practical perspective, it's important to understand it's not just one thing. It's a suite of techniques, all of which can add value to your business. I think this has to start with education. I think the most senior people in the organization need to understand the way that technology is going in order to take advantage of it. I think it's also important for organizations to realize that they don't have to always work at the cutting edge. There are techniques that have been around for many years that are very well established, and those can still add lots of value, and they're still being underused in many organizations. I think the other thing that companies need to understand is that a lot of AI and a lot of technology is based on data. So companies need to understand and protect and govern their data in order to get the most value out of these techniques. I think the topic of ethics, I think, is very, very important. I think companies often think about compliance and they often think about legal obligations, and those are about the things that you're allowed to do. But companies also should think about the things that they want to do, the way in which they can use data, AI, technology in a way that really amplifies their brand, amplifies their purpose. And this is all about the ethical framework for using data. It's not about what you can do, it's about what you want to do. I think it's very important to think about a company strategy when you're trying to think about adopting a new technology or to think about using data or analytics. This shouldn't be a pet project. It shouldn't be something on the side. This should be about understanding use cases that contribute to your company strategy. This might be about making more accurate forecasts. It might be about supply chain or logistics. It might be about new product development. But think about the business problem you're trying to solve first, and then think about how data and analytics can help solve that problem. I think under the banner of AI, we're seeing a lot of techniques around automation. We're seeing the way in which uh, products like copilots can help make more mundane tasks easier. We're also seeing how we can make things more accurate in terms of forecasts and predictions. We're developing the ability to analyze video data, audio data, all of these kind of things. Now, if your business involves one of those processes, you should be thinking about how AI can help. And I think this comes back to the idea of education because companies and colleagues need to understand how these techniques can help them. And I think fundamentally, organizations are going to have to become much more adaptable because these techniques can potentially revolutionize the way that you work, but only if you understand them properly. We have seen for many years instances of algorithms that have led to unintended consequences. And I think one of the things that we need to do is help people understand how these algorithms work and some of the pitfalls of them, some of their limitations. But also, one of the things that we need to do is build diverse teams because diverse teams are much more likely to pick up on unintended consequences and correct them. We want to make sure that we don't have biases in the outputs. We want to make sure that we don't have discrimination that isn't needed or isn't wanted. And I think having a diverse team is the very best way to protect yourself against those kind of unintended consequences. Well, I would like audiences to take away two things. I think the first thing is to understand that AI is not a mysterious topic. I hope to demystify the topic of AI, data, technology, transformation. These are not mysterious things. These are not black boxes. These are processes that people can adopt and technologies that people can adopt. And the second thing I'd like to people to take away is some practical examples of how these can become real in a big organization, rather than a vanity project, rather than a pet project, rather than something that you're reading about on in the newspaper or hearing about in a podcast. This can be a practical technique for you to help change your own business.